Hi, and welcome to A Better Place. Today we will be continuing in our series on education as we talk to two very lovely ladies from the Charlotte Brookson Academy. Stay tuned, we will be right back. Hi, and welcome back to A Better Place. As I mentioned in the intro, we will be talking to two very lovely ladies from the Charlotte Brookson Academy. Miss Lee and Mrs. Bell, welcome to A Better Place.
Thank you. Good to be here.
We already spoke to you in the beginning when you were, starting up with the Charlotte Brookson Academy, and now you have started. How has it been going thus far?
It's been going quite well. Thank you. It's nice to be here with you once again, Angelique. Yes, the school has gone quite well. We just finished our first term, and when we come back from the vacation in January, we will begin with term 2. And we're very, very happy and pleased with how everything has been going so far.
Okay, Miss Lee, what exactly is your function here at the Charlotte Brookson Academy?
My job is curriculum and instruction specialist. So I work with the teachers as well as the students. I try and bring the curriculum to a level that the children are at so they can learn and we can grow. So my main function is to help the teachers with their instruction and their methods, as well as make sure the curriculum fits where our children are. And that is probably my main function, along with being the person they see every morning, all day long. I am that consistent factor in their lives.
Why do you say that? Why do they see you all day long?
Well, somebody sort of has to be keeping the flow, helping them to understand that high school is different than elementary school. There is a different expectation. We expect them to behave in a much more mature and responsible way, that they're no longer going to have something such as recess and run around, that that time that they have for a break should be used productively. So that's my role as well, to help them become the high school students I know they can be.
Okay. And Ms. Bell, you are the director of the Charlotte Brookson Academy.
Yes.
Tell us, what was it like, actually recruiting students for the academy?
Well, actually, it was not difficult. Julianne Augusti, who is the founder of the Charlotte Brookson Academy, as you know, she and I, and along with Miss Lee, went to some of the grammar schools and spoke to students that were in grade 6 at the time, as well as their parents. And so we got them familiar with the school, and then word of mouth, other parents told other parents and friends, and so before you know it, we were getting quite a few phone calls. And we started registration, and we opened our doors August 20th of this past school year.
So you said it wasn't difficult because you did advertising and also
Right.
persons heard about it.
And
But was
principals
there a
of the grammar
particular
schools.
criteria for these students to meet in order for them to come to this academy?
Well, we had our own test, pre-test, but it was not the type of test that determined whether they got in or were accepted or denied. It was more for our benefit to know where to place them, on what level they were on already in the math and in the language area. We based the acceptance of the children we have now actually on their attitude and their want to actually be a student of the Charlotte Brookson Academy, because our school is very demanding. The hours are quite long. Not only are they getting the academic subjects, but they're also getting the performance arts subjects. So they go from 7:30 in the morning until 5 o'clock. And we were looking for students that wanted to be here, wanted to be part of something that is new. And that's really how we based it on, their attitude and their want to be here and to
Okay,
be
so-
part of this new venture.
So you would say that most of the children that enrolled or showed interest, it was more coming from them instead of their parents?
It was more coming from them, yes. yes, and their want to be here. You know, we offer them a lot, we give them a lot, and we also demand a lot. Like I said, they have the longer school hours. We have our curriculum built in an hour of tutorial every day, which is very beneficial for them. If they're struggling in a subject, then they go to that subject teacher for that hour to get the extra help. And then again, we have the performance arts. They also have the benefit of getting music and dance and visual arts and physical education and theater arts. In fact, today we just had our performance where we went to both campuses of the Mac School, and we also went to the St. Martin's Home where they performed for those schools and for the St. Martin's Home to show what they've been doing and all the hard work they've been putting in.
Right. Was that your first performance outside of the academy, or they
Well,
performed before?
we had a performance back at the end of September, basically for parents and friends of the Charlotte Brookson Academy, that we had at the Phillipsburg Cultural Center. But, you know, we are also very big on community service, and so we wanted to do this as part of our community service. Also, the St. Martin's Home has a very dear spot into the Ujima Foundation. Many of our residents over the years visited weekly the St. Martin's Home, and so, you know, the kids really enjoyed being there today and performing for the residents of the home.
Okay. And Ms. Lee, can you say that while monitoring the students that they have or they are making that transition really well?
I would have to say yes. We were talking, the staff, we were talking at one of our monthly meetings, and I said to the staff, think back to August. Try and remember the students that you saw in August. And all of them understood how much growth they have made. They have really transitioned from that elementary education to one of, I know I'm accountable and I'm responsible and I have to do what's necessary to not just get grades. We're not into grades, into learning. I know that I have to perform at all levels, be it in my academic subjects or in performance arts subjects. You know, one of the interesting things we introduce for the dance, they needed to audition to be a part of the performance that we did this last time. And that was a wonderful experience for them because that is so typical of working in the arts. You know, just because you think you have talent doesn't mean you're going to be selected.
Right.
So that was important for them to learn and to be a part of. But it's also important in their education. We try and do a monthly bulletin where the children do essays and we extract some of what they have to say and we put it in a bulletin for their parents. And almost to a one, the children were saying, this is the one school where the teachers expect us to learn and they insist that we understand. Not those words exactly, but that's what's in what they're writing.
Right.
So they appreciate our goal, which is to really educate them and make them ready to move on into the world.
Well, ladies, I want to thank you for this first segment of the program. Unfortunately, we have to take a break. Stay tuned, we will be right back.
For those topsy-turvy nights, a diaper that suits your baby. Huggy Snug and Dry with all new leak lock. Absorbs faster to help stop leaks. Parenthood, chaotically beautiful. Enjoy it.
GEBE has been faithfully serving the communities of St. Martin, Saba, and Statia, powering your home and our economy. Come rain or shine, our qualified team of professionals are working hard 24 hours a day to provide you and your family with safe, reliable electricity and water. We use the latest technologies and test our products daily to maintain the highest international standards. Our friendly staff is always there to assist you, whether in person, over the phone, or online. We are committed to constantly improving our products and services, making them more efficient, effective, and environmentally friendly to serve you better today and our next generation of clients tomorrow. GEBE, powering.
Hi, and welcome back to A Better Place. So, Ms. Bell, tell us, we talked about the recruitment for your students. What about the recruitment for your teachers?
Well, we had a few ads in the paper, and then again, when word of mouth got around and people heard about the school, we had quite a few people come in
Okay.
inquiring about jobs and so on. And so we didn't have a problem getting the staffing for the school, which was very nice. Right now, we have 2 full-time teachers. They also have the homeroom classes. And we have a part-time Dutch teacher. We have a part-time IT teacher. We have a nurse on staff that also does the health education with the students. And then we have the part-time performance arts teachers in the afternoon.
Okay, so before we move on to Ms. Lee, so she could elaborate a little bit more on the subjects that are taught at the Charlotte Brookson Academy. You had an influx of students, from what I understand. So many children showed interest. How did you choose in order to keep it to a certain amount? Because what are the numbers in your classes right now?
Right now, they are 18. We wanted to keep it small so that the children get the individual attention they deserve and that they need. So we have 18 per class. We started with 2 classes of 7th graders.
Okay.
Now, next year, we've had a lot of phone calls since school has opened.
Wow.
A lot of people already inquiring about getting their child in for next year. So we will do a pre-registration, most likely at the beginning of March. But we have to wait for the national test that all 6th graders will be mandatory to have. So we will look at those scores as well. And, I work very closely with the inspection department, Inspection of Education, and they have been very helpful. Being a new school, you want to make sure you have all your Ts crossed and Is dotted. So, anytime I had any concern or question, I was able to call the Department of Education or even Minister Jacobs' office and inquire as to make sure that we're doing everything by the book. And as I said, I know the next school year is going to be a very busy one because we have calls every day or people just visiting us at USM where we're housed right now, inquiring for next school year. So our 7th graders now will become the 8th graders, and then we will take in new 7th grade classes again, two classes.
Wow, so you're going to continue to grow. Do you foresee having 3 classes of 7th graders next year, or are you going to stick to 2 classes?
We're going to stick to 2 classes. As you know, we don't have our own school.
Right.
We are renting space at the University of St. Martin, and I must say they have been so hospitable. I mean, we couldn't have been more fortunate to be able to be housed here. We're hoping that, we can have a 2nd year here. It's worked out very well. And so we'll keep it at 2 7th grades. We don't want to, overwhelm ourselves. As you know, we're young, just getting started, so we want to make sure that we have a good, solid foundation.
Good. And Ms. Lee, you're the curriculum specialist. So can you elaborate a bit about the subjects? What is being taught in the morning hours and in the afternoon hours at the Charlotte Brookson Academy?
Well, we have pretty much the same schedule every day. What is taught in the morning is language arts, literature, and basic math. So the children are getting foundations in English, and they're also being exposed to more literature than they usually have had. They're reading actual books or short stories, poems. They're reciting poems because it's a part of performance arts. In math, the foundation, what we found with the students is that they really needed to have a very strong foundation so that they could grow in their ability to do math independently. So the teacher in math has been doing a great deal of review. not in, let's say, tables in that kind of sense, but in the logic and understanding of the math and understanding the vocabulary of the math so that they can explain what they're doing. We're hoping that next year the children will be strong enough to go into pre-algebra. And they will obviously continue in language arts so that they get their writing skills down. They're better versed in how they speak. We do presentations, we do writing, we do a lot of grammar, punctuation, so that the children have built those skills and they can start independently writing and not require a lot of editing. One of the things that I try and do with them is I try to sit with them on a one-to-one and go through their papers and say, okay, tell me what it is you wanted to say, and let's look at how you said it, so that they are really being directed on using their language skills. For science, we're doing earth science, which is a very general science. But what I like about this science is it makes them aware of their environment. A lot of earth science focuses on environment. And we certainly have issues on this island as well as around the world with pollution. So the children are taking that information and looking at their actual world and their island and saying, where can we improve? So that is the science we are doing. And world geography is what they're doing for social studies. Because I think they need, we spent the time studying St. Martin. It was important that they knew their own island, their own history. And from there, they went out further to the Caribbean, and from there, they're going to the different continents. But I think it's important that children know where they're from and what their history is. And if you start too large, it has no relevance. So that's what they're doing in social studies. They're doing world geography. The Dutch is conversational Dutch. We need to get them speaking in Dutch, not just reading and writing it, so they're comfortable with the language of the island.
Ladies, unfortunately, we're out of time again. When we come back, we'll continue to discuss about Charlotte Brookson Academy. I want you to elaborate a bit more about the music program when we come back. Stay tuned, we will be right back.
Man, I'm supposed to take my girl out to dinner this weekend. I'm so broke, man.
Man, I used to have those same problems, you know. But since I got my whip company card, when I take my lady out, I even get something back, you know.
Get something back? But you're a lucky fella.
I take your mind out the gutter, man. What I mean is, with whip company I get back 1% on every purchase I make. With this card, I can spend in guilders and use it throughout the Netherlands and TDs. Instead of paying 1% with the dollar credit card, man, I get 1% back on every purchase I make at the end of the year.
What? I gotta get myself a company on card.
Man, but let's go.
Let me go. Man, now my lady's birthday gonna be a real celebration.
At least now with Whip Compaleon, I know you're gonna get something back.
The Web Compaleon credit card with limits as low as 500 guilders. You don't have to walk with cash, and it is accepted by practically all businesses. The Web Compaleon is the first guilder credit card that can be afforded by anyone.
Welcome back to A Better Place. So I want to now get into the music part of the program. How is it being taught? I mean, do they get regular singing classes? Do they learn how to read notes? How is that dealt with?
Yes, we're very privileged to have on staff Mr. Neville James, who's our music teacher. He is a well-known musician on the island, and his wife is Helen Hart. And we actually got to know Mr. Neville James through Helen Hart. I had spoken to her about our music program, and so she referred us to her husband. And he is right now working with the children in how to read music, know the notes, how to write music on the music sheets and so on. And he has them actually starting with the recorder. Before, he explained this all to me. He's the professional in that field. And he said to me that it's very important that they start with the basics, the reading music, the writing music, before they actually get into the keyboards and things like that. So we're very, happy with the music program, and he takes it very, very seriously.
Because Mr. James is a teacher by
Exactly,
profession, right?
exactly, and a well-known musician. And so we're very happy and pleased that we have him for the music. We have Zetsia Shigimoto Duncan, who is actually a business woman. She has her own graphic design business, and so she is a staff member, and she does the visual arts in the afternoon with the students. And she does a lot with the painting and showing them how to mix colors to get the color in case they didn't have it, and did a lot with lines and all kinds of curves and everything.
Right.
So, yeah, so she's done very, very good. And again, she's a professional in her field, and she brings that into the classroom. We have, for the dance, we have Arlene Hawley of the Motions Dance School, so we're very happy to have her as part of the Charlotte Brookson Academy. She does the dance, and right now we're doing it on the premises, but our hope is in January that we actually get the children to the dance studio, the Motions Dance and and Ballet Dance School, where they have the proper flooring and the mirrors and so on to, continue their dance. We also have Clara Reyes of the Mbali Dance School, which Clara is our theater arts teacher and our physical education teacher. So that's a very big plus. We have
Right.
people that actually work every day in their field, and they're here 2 hours in the afternoon to work with our students. And we have, so I spoke about the music, the visual arts, the theater. Did I forget?
No.
I did forget.
No, you did music, theater arts, you did dance.
Visual arts.
And visual arts.
Okay.
And those are our 4 primary
Right.
performance arts. One of the things that I would like to add to that is that they're just not having the children do. They are learning the words for that particular art. So you have Mr. James teaching them the words of music so they can describe what they're doing. You have Ms. Shigemoto teaching them the words of art so they can describe what they've drawn.
Wow.
So it's not just doing, it's academic. And we saw this in other performance arts schools. We saw that key to it was the vocabulary. Because if you cannot explain what you're doing, then you really are somewhat unaware of your skill as you're developing it. So that was very important that we had that as part of the curriculum. And I just wanted to add that piece.
Okay. Well, when you talk about physical ed, because I also heard one of the students talk about health ed. What is the difference? I mean, I know physical education, what that is, but so they're being offered a course where they learn, it's a part of what, biology?
Yes, it's their body. Our nurse, Ms. Jasenko, is actually teaching that course.
Okay.
So of course, being a nurse, she has the knowledge about the body and the heart and the different systems and cells and all of that. So that's actually a course that they get once a week, every week.
Only once a week?
Once a week.
And she teaches them, well, she's been working a lot with the body, and I noticed that this week, just because I was involved, she was working on teaching them different joints and how they move, and why that's important in dance. What effect does it have when you are dancing? the way you move, even in theater arts, the way you position yourself on the stage. So she's trying to correlate it back to the performance arts. And then she will be probably going into the hygiene, you know, the issues that teenagers have. And that will be the second part of health ed. And the physical ed is really just teaching team sportsmanship. You know, they have so much physical activity in their dance, their theater arts. You know, the actual purpose of phys ed for us is just teaching them team sportsmanship, because that gets back into our belief on being a school that honors community service. You know, we are all in this together.
Right.
And so that's part of
the
it.
community service that your children do, is it like for credits? Because I know, for example, at the Learning Unlimited and at the St. Dominic's, they have to do a certain amount of community service in order for them to pass. I don't know if it's a particular subject or it's just incorporated with everything that they do. How do you incorporate it into your curriculum, the community service?
Well, right now, it's not, they're not getting credit. It is expected of them. It is part of their education. So it's not, they don't have a choice. The Ujima Foundation has always been very big on community service. I mean, our logo is community's responsibility. So that is what the Ujima Foundation stands for. So, of course, a school that comes under the Ujima Foundation is going to be very active in the community.
Okay, any final words? Because we have to wrap up now.
Well, I would like to thank everyone who has supported the Charlotte Brookson Academy so far. Minister Jacobs and her cabinet has been very, very supportive. The Department of Education, the Inspection of Education, you know, as I said, they've always been there. Whatever questions we might have or concerns, they've always been there to lend a helping hand. We have some individuals that I don't want to start naming, but they knew who they are, that have been extremely supportive of Ujima, but especially Charlotte Brookson Academy. And we really, really appreciate them being part of us and supporting us.
I want to thank you so much for having been a part of A Better Place. And of course, we have a part 2 to our program where we will be speaking to 2 of your students. So we will continue talking about Charlotte Brookson Academy. Thank you so much once again.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
having us.
And to you, the viewing audience, I would like to thank you for having been a part of A Better Place. Stay tuned as we bring you part 2 of the Charlotte Brookson Academy when we continue speaking to their students as well.